Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Okay, we're going to be covering something I think that needs to be kind of discussed fairly thoroughly, and that is advanced team building. Now, I've done a team building guide in the past, and I want to kind of go over this again now with all my experience, max level, completing all the content, and explain to you guys how you want to build a team and why. I think the more important reason is why, and how to substitute specific units for others. Now, we're going to look at hunters more importantly because Jinu is pretty straightforward, and I will do his as well too, but I think hunters is where most people will struggle. So I want to talk about a little bit about how you want to build a team. Now, for example, this boss here is the bear. Thing you know about elite bosses and bosses that exist like this, they don't have break bars. So the first thing you should note in the back of your mind is when you are using hunters, do not use hunters with a break bar unless they have something specific that you want to bring to the table. So two big units come to mind, obviously, that have break bar breaking abilities, but are also pretty important even without. So first off, it's going to be Beck. So OG Beck does bring something that's very, very important in this game, especially for hunters if you don't have Jino, and that is going to be decreasing defense abilities. You always want to have a defense decreasing unit in the party. If you don't have Choi, then Beck is your next best option. Another one that's really good is going to be someone like Sao, who also has the ability to continuously spam her skills at the same time providing you utility with a shield. So she's a breaker, but in this case she's also a massive DPS because of her spam ability. So those two breakers, for example, are ones that you can definitely put into play here without worrying about a break bar. But those are the two biggest exceptions. Now, if you already have Choi, you can take Beck out, obviously, you can take Sao out, and then you want to focus on two other very important aspects here, and that is going to be buffing. Now, there's two major buffers and debuffers in this game that are going to serve you really well, and I'll talk about both. Number one, let's talk about Libora. Libora's main thing at the end of the day is going to be charming opponents right here for her team. Now, the reason why that's important, of course, is the target will take an additional 15% damage every time you cast any of those spells, Tracking Charm, Tempest, or Quick Attack Tempest, okay? And her QTE works as well too. She also throws down debuff zones for dark units as well too, or any units, removing debuffs, but also giving dark units an additional extra damage they can pump out. Plus, she has a couple adds and Phantom Foxes she can summon. So she's probably the best debuffer here for any content, and as well as with dark teams. Now, if you don't have her, obviously the next one in line, probably the better of the two units, is going to be Min. Now, Min's main thing is the fact that he does a couple really beautiful things. Number one, he has Punishment, which does also give or does cast the debuff on the opponent for 15% more damage. And you can also do here, right there, you can see here, Punishment, right? That's a support skill, but you can also do it right over, where is it, right here, 5%, and you can go 15% one in Disguise. So that's the main thing. You always want to be disguised when you cast this, so you do 15% more damage. So that takes care of that debuff. But on top of that, everything else that he offers you is pretty damn crazy. So first off, he will give, with his ultimate, everyone a damage dealt increase and critical hit increase by 12%. Now, Choi's the only one that doesn't benefit from the critical hit, but he does give the damage dealt up as well too, and Choi does definitely benefit from that. And then as well as the user critical hit damage increase equal to 40% of his amount, and anything that exceeds that will be given to the rest of your party as critical hit damage. Now, when they fix critical hit damage, this is going to be even crazier. For now, the skill does work, but it uses the base amount, which is 50%, right? So you only get 10% extra increase here. Okay, so after you have your buffer, those are the two best buffers, by the way, just so you guys are aware, you want to have yourself a bleed unit if possible. So bleed units are great against bigger bosses. Now, they're not necessary whatsoever on ads or smaller bosses. What you want to do on smaller bosses instead is you want to bring an AoE unit. So great AoE units, for example, are going to be Emma, Park Heejun over here. Where is she? Right there. She's also very good. And then if you have only SR units to use, you can also use somebody like Song here, who's actually built to kill ads. But on big bosses, they're not going to do quite as much. You want to bring someone like Tashik here, aka Kang, or you want to bring yourself SM Beck, right? Those two bleeds are going to be massive amounts of damage. So this is the team I'm going to go with for this bear. Again, I have my defense down, I have my buffs, and I have my bleeds. And then I have right here, the way I'm going to set up my shadows is who does the most amount of damage and where are they going to benefit. So we know Choi is the biggest damage dealer at the moment. He does not benefit from crit, so Igris will not take part here, but instead we'll have ourselves Blades, who gives everybody attack up, and everyone here except for Min will benefit from this. Now, Min's outfit, just so you guys are aware, is the Destroyer set and this set here. When he tags out, everybody gets attack up, and then when he has the Destroyer set, everybody builds 20% more power gauge throughout the entire fight. So let's go in here. I'm going to show you guys a couple combat tricks that you want to do with your units and how to use them very efficiently. Okay, so first off, this is, if you see my Cerberus fight, you understand the point of Min. Min's main job is to simply do two things: apply his ultimate, apply punishment, and get the hell out. Okay, a couple combat tricks that you guys may not have known, and I've kind of specified this a few times already inside my other videos for these guys, is that if you summon your shadows, you can QTE out right away. You guys can see right there, I have defense down, and I have myself punishment, right? And instantly I want to bring him back, and the reason why is I want to make sure that bleed is applied right away. There's the bleed right there. Switch back to Min, right? Now you can actually focus on doing another punishment, make sure that's back up. Cast his ultimate. Now here's the beauty: you don't have to wait till the animation is done for most of these fights, right? You can actually get people in and out even faster, and that's a lot of people wait for the animations to finish. That's mistake number one. Never ever finish the animations. Cast the animations right away and get people in and out. Now with Choi, if you have A1 version, remember to use all of his skills first, right? So you can cast Crater, all of his cooldowns are back up right away. You guys can see here, let's just let him do this because I have no cooldown right now. Damn it, I hate this fight. Right, so make sure you're saving your dodge. Remember, if you do have a perfect dodge, you can also get people out. Another good way to use your QTEs is doing your core damage. So SM Beck is really good for that because his core builds quicker because of his set. But there you guys go. Now go ahead and cast this. Make sure you dodge here. We're not gonna bring Min in yet. Okay, we're gonna let this bear finish his 3 dodges, and we're gonna apply the bleed, and then we're gonna do his ult right away. Okay, so you have the 10 stacks right there of that buff, which will guarantee you pretty much a crit every time. There you guys go. Didn't even finish animations, jumping in right away. Again, don't finish animations, guys. Look at that. See? Avoid animations. Just instantly use them, get out. Look at that. Didn't even finish the animation. The full effect will still apply, by the way. You don't have to wait for the whole thing to go through. So remember when you're doing this to just do your skills and get out. That's the main thing you want to remember, okay? And that's how you're going to maximize the most amount of damage. Now, this doesn't apply to Jinnu, by the way, okay? So 2 things you should know about Jinnu. Same thing applies for him. Anytime you build a team around him, you want to build a debuffer. So you, again, Libora, or you can use Min for punishment. Those are the 2 main debuffs that you're going to use. You want to build a buffer. In this case, SM Beck is the best buffer because he gives 20% attack up. If you have him, fantastic, right? And then you want to have somebody who does defense down in case a Shadow Step is out. Now, that last part is not necessary because Shadow Step, defense down, will override anyone else's defense down. So Choi is not a necessity in this case, but in case it's on a cooldown and you are trying to maintain that DPS output, having a defense down is very important. Also, you can just get flat DPS or a breaker, right? So someone like Sao, who actually does break and gives you guys a shield, so for more survivability, or you guys can use Beck as well too, who does defense down plus gives you guys a break as well. So you have a couple really good options with Jinnu, but I think Hunters is probably the hardest one to do. So main thing with Hunters, never wait for animations to finish. Sub in, sub out. Sometimes you don't even need to QTE. It'll waste time. Sometimes just sub in by pressing the direction button or the icon of your character, depending if you're on mobile or not, right? Remember to always bring yourself at least a bleeder or some sort of debuff for damage up, so Min or Libora. So SM Beck or Kang. Kang's incredible for that. If you're doing ads, bring in AoE. Emma or Park Heejin is really good for that as well too. Nam is also another really good option actually for that one too. And then also for anyone who has a break, make sure you bring a breaker. That's a pretty straightforward. The best breaker in the game is still going to be Beck because of the 20% defense down, and he has the highest break capacity. But if you don't have him and you're using Sao is just as good, or Saw, however you guys want me to say it. The hot water girl, we'll call her that right now. Other options that are really good for breakers, of course, are for SRs are Jinnu and Nam. Those are very, very good breakers, and Ruiz as well too. Okay, so make sure you have those kind of units together. Now, of course, the last piece you want is a buffer, right? And Min is the best unit for that because he does best of both worlds. He does the debuffing and the buffing at the same time. So he's the ultimate unit to bring to almost to any fight you guys ever do, because he's just going to be that damn good. All right, guys, this is Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. I'll be happy to answer them. See you guys in the next one.